This conference will now be recorded.
Monty, are you ready? All right. 30 will go. Can you hear me? Yeah, I might give him a couple minutes to file in. I did. Was what? I can get one if you wait till I get to my office. I gotta run it. All right, what do you think? You ready to roll? We'll call this Monday, May 2nd, 2022, a meeting of the Sedalia City Council to order. We first will have prayer and pledge allegiance given by Chaplain Matson. You have the floor, Chaplain Matson.
Would you stand as able and join me as we pray? Dear Lord and Father of all, we come to you this evening to ask your guidance as the Sedalia City Council, Mayor, Administrator, members, and their staffs meet to discuss and make decisions that affect us all in this community. We are grateful for their service, honoring a new mayor and 2 new council members this evening. We appreciate their dedication to our citizens. We ask protection for all of our first responders, police, fire, and by the way, 3 new badges are being given this evening in our fire department. Robert Ladd, Benton Beard, and Paul Humble. They are going to get their badges tonight. Bless them. The Sheriff's Department, ambulance, EMTs, hospital staffs, and all of them who work every day and night to serve and protect us, often at the risk of their own lives. We are grateful for the United States of America, our constitutional republic, for which so many have fought and died to create and preserve for over 240 years. We ask your protection for all who still serve this country, military and civilian, here and throughout the world, keeping our country safe from threats from without and sadly from within. Tonight, the Sedalia Fire Department also retires after 33 years of veteran Roger Vesker, who is honored for his longtime service to our city. We are so thankful for that service. We ask you to bless him and his family in the retirement. A special prayer tonight offered also for Ukraine and its people who suffer so much from this terrible invasion. And now as we leave tonight, please protect us and our loved ones. Keep us from harm until we meet again. All this we pray in the name of our risen Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Roll call, please. Robinson. Here.
Oldham.
Here.
Marshall. Here. Bogus. Here. Richardson. Here. Cross. Here. Foster. Here. And Bliss.
Here. Okay, the first item we have on the agenda is service award. And with that, we're doing the service award for 25 years of service, quarter of a century. On behalf of the And now we'll give the floor to Chief Irwin to present a 3 badge pinnings and then a retirement award.
Members of the council, Mr. Mayor, City Administrator Shaw, thank you for having me tonight. Thank you for letting us do this in front of you guys. Tonight marks the milestone of the starting of a career and then also the ending of a career. So it's kind of a emotional evening. So if I could have Brenton Beard, Paul Humble, and Keith Ladd please come up. These 3 gentlemen are the last 3 of our hiring cycle to earn their firefighter badge. They've met all the requirements set forth by the City of Sedalia. They have their firefighter 1 and 2s completed and their EMTs. They've completed their probationary packet, and they are ready to move forward with their career and starting their service. Mr. Beard is going to be pinned tonight by his mother, Katie Beard. Mr. Humble is going to be pinned by Mr. Josh Nelson, and Mr. Ladd is going to be pinned by his father, Bob Ladd. So if those pinners will come up. Congratulations, gentlemen. I'm very proud of all 3 of you. They're probably going to be pretty loud out there too, by the way. I apologize. All right. It won't be the last time you see me, I don't think. The last part of this, I wrote a little speech. It's not very long, but Roger Whisker, would you please come stand? Mayor Dawson, members of the council, and Administrator Shaw, it gives me both great pleasure and sadness to announce the retirement of driver-operator Roger Whisker. Driver-operator Whisker began his career on a Monday, February 6, 1989. I am told it was snowy that day. He was promoted to the rank of driver in 1994, a position he held up to his retirement. Roger has seen a great number of things in his career, from large fires throughout the city to new fire trucks. He's often goaded about how things have changed when they got rid of the horses and went to motorized engines. All the while, he took this in stride and laughed, "I ain't saying." On a personal side, Roger has always been a friend to me. Although we did not see eye to eye on a few occasions, even when he was mad at me, he never once missed an opportunity to say good morning, ask how my family was, and share a sports story either about one of his kids or mine. I will truly miss him around the station, and I will almost surely miss his cucumbers and onions. Roger has been a staple around the fire department for over 33 years, a career filled with protecting the lives and property of the citizens of Sedalia and those who visited our fair city. 33 years of dedicated service to a community that he performed admirably. Now that his fire service journey is over, like the rest of the department, will miss him. I hope he will find his way back to the station from time to time, as he knows there will always be coffee available, and for him to share his stories with the new members of the department. Roger, congratulations on a career well done. Enjoy your retirement. Come by and see us, and I will miss you. And I've never once seen, all right. Mayor and Council, retired driver operator Roger Whisker would like to address the council if he could have a moment. Roger, you have to talk to this. Oh, I have to talk to that. Well, if you want to talk out there, let me know. People online can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, I look back there and I see a lot of faces I've seen for a long time, and I know they're going to be right behind me. So I'm going to tell you now, if you don't inform me ahead of time when you're going to be here doing this, I probably won't be here because I'm getting old. All right? So let me know, and I'll try to be here. Yeah. And I see a lot of new faces, the new guys. Once you got your badges tonight, you're still family, just like the rest of these guys. We've all been a big family, and I appreciate every one of you. And some of the others that I've seen for years, too many names to mention. I want to thank you all for everything you've done for me. And that being said, I want my wife and Justin, he's standing back there in the back, and I want my wife to stand. When I started here, this was the three of us. So now I want the rest of my family to stand. And in the past 33 years, we have grown to this, so I want all of you to know that the family extends more than you know. So the longer you're here, the bigger your family gets. So always keep that in mind, and that's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Do I have a motion, a second, to approve the April 18th minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Do I have a motion and a second to approve the April 25th work session minutes?
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Now we have the reports from the various standing committees. Up first is Finance and Administration. Chairman Richardson, you have the floor.
All right, Chair. 3 items for consideration. Administration. So I'm excited about it. Scott Joplin Festival back as the previous year. Bragg Tax Festival is the previous year. Civilian Union, Scott Joplin contribution to the development. Celebration includes venues for additional supplements on security. Additionally, as part of the city code, alcohol allowed to be sold in the area that could be discussed. Staff recommends also suspend the prohibition of having such containers in public during the hours between 1 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. so the patrons can move between locations where music is being played.
Any further council discussion? Call for the ordinance.
Bill number 2022-63, an ordinance waiving the requirements of Section 4-3A of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sedalia, Missouri, and imposing other conditions relating to concerts held during the Scott Joplin Ragtime Festival on Thursday, June the 2nd, 22, Friday, June 3rd, 22, and Saturday, June 4th, 22, during the hours of 1 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. in downtown Sedalia.
Second reading.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Bill number 2022-63, an ordinance waiving the requirements of Section 4-3A of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sedalia, Missouri, and imposing other conditions relating to concerts held during the Scott Joplin Ragtime Festival on Thursday, June the 2nd, 22, Friday, June 3rd, 22, and Saturday, June 4th, 22, during the hours of 1 to 7:30 p.m. in downtown Sedalia.
Final passage.
Second. Roll call, please.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
And Bliss?
Yes.
All in favor.
All right, my next item. The City of Sedalia is participating in the litigation against the manufacturers and distributors of opioids that contributed to the addiction of so many individuals. The State Attorney General is also a participant in this litigation and has taken a lead role for negotiating settlements from some of these defendants. These negotiated settlements are dependent upon the agreement of separate litigants in Missouri to the settlement and allocations. Our legal counsel has recommended entering into a memorandum of understanding negotiated with the state documenting our agreement to the proposed settlements thus far and allocation methodology.
Any further council discussion? Call for the ordinance.
Okay, before I read the ordinance, I have to let you know that when we got the information for the packet, there was wording in there, be it resolved by this governmental unit, and it did not get changed. So what it now says, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Sedalia, Missouri. So that was changed and will be passed as such. So bill number 2022-64, an ordinance authorizing the City of Sedalia, Missouri to join with the State of Missouri and other local governmental units as a participant in the Missouri State Local Government Opioid Litigation Memorandum of Understanding and any subsequent formal agreements necessary to implement the MOU, including but not limited to the subdivision settlement participation form in Exhibit K of the Distributor Settlement Agreement and the Janssen Settlement Agreement.
Second reading.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Bill number 2022-64, an ordinance authorizing the City of Sedalia, Missouri to join with the State of Missouri and other local governmental units as a participant in the Missouri State Local Government Opioid Litigation Memorandum of Understanding and any subsequent formal agreements necessary to implement the MOU, including but not limited to the subdivision settlement participation form in Exhibit K of the Distributor Settlement Agreement and the Janssen Settlement Agreement.
Second.
Roll call.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yep.
Robinson?
Yes.
All in favor.
All right, final item. Staff has identified some ambiguities in our current policies and practices surrounding what constitutes eligibility for driving city-owned vehicles. Therefore, Shannon Ramey Troll, Human Resources Director, has led an initiative through the safety community and department heads to review the issues and develop a written policy. Staff recommends approval.
Any further discussion? Call for the ordinance.
Bill number 2022-65, an ordinance amending the safety manual for the City of Sedalia, Missouri by removing the motor vehicle record review section contained in the fleet safety policy and replacing it with a new driver eligibility policy.
Second reading. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Bill number 2022-65, an ordinance amending the safety manual for the City of Sedalia, Missouri by removing the motor vehicle record review section contained in the fleet safety policy and replacing it with a new driver eligibility policy.
Final passage.
Second. Roll call, please.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross? Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yep.
Robinson?
Yes.
And Oldham?
Yes.
All in favor.
All right, thank you, Chairman Richardson. Up next, we have public safety. We'll give the floor to Chairman Robinson.
Chief Byrd, are you going to make a presentation? Yes, sir. Thank you.
Members of council, long time no see. Tonight, I didn't do a PowerPoint presentation. I wanted to kind of make this just as informal as I possibly can to get moving. I knew we had a lot to do this evening. Tonight, I want to talk to you about the Brycer Compliance Engine. Basically, what it does is it's a company that maintains fire protection system records for the fire department. Once in place, companies doing work within the city limits of Sedalia would be required to report all of their inspections to this company. So it is, if a system fails a certification, the fire department is notified of that. If a business does not complete an inspection when it's due, the fire department is notified about this. It's all kept by this company. Brycer sends out all the notifications and follow-ups. So if somebody's delinquent or somebody has a repair that needs to be done, they do all of the notifications. It takes a lot of time off of our inspectors, and it takes a lot of time off of my deputy chief. They keep track of sprinkler systems, alarm panels, hood systems, etc. They will also keep track of the backflow preventers within the city limits, and those are private backflow preventers, anything that has to be reported to Department of Natural Resources. They put all of this information on a very easy to read, where you can see where if something is compliant, non-compliant. It keeps track of it very well. The benefits to us, we know when a life safety system fails an inspection because all companies have to report a failure. We know if a business fails to maintain their life safety equipment. So if somebody decides they don't want to do their fire inspection of their sprinkler system, they keep track of this, they send out the notices that they need to be done, and then if they're not done, then they notify us. We know that a system has been repaired and it passes its inspection. This allows our inspector to spend more time completing inspections and not having to do follow-up after follow-up with a business over a failed system. Also, we feel that this will lower our false alarms to businesses because it will require the business to maintain a healthy system. Now the downside. Although it is free to the city of Sedalia, it does have a cost to the owner of these systems. Currently, as of this morning, it's $17 per report. So a business would get this charge added to their service. Although I do not have the exact numbers of the contractors that we deal with, most have already implemented this into their costs. We ran into this last year already with one business here in town because they do work in Kansas City and Springfield that require reporting to the Brycer Group. Contractors can choose to add this cost to their bill, but some are absorbing the cost and not passing it on to their customers. I feel that this system, once put in place, would only save time to our inspector who has to chase issues down, but will let us know exactly when a system is out of service rather than just finding it on our annual inspection. I would give you this as an example. If our inspector goes out today and does an inspection of a business and the sprinkler system is in service on the tag, but that system gets serviced next month as its annual after we've already done our annual and the system fails, if the owner chooses to, they cannot repair that system and it stays out of service for 11 months until we find it again on our next annual inspection. With this system, once that system fails, the company has to report to Brycer, we are notified. So really it makes our businesses basically have to do their part of it. Last note, the 2015 fire code that the city has already adopted by ordinance allows for the authority to have a jurisdiction to establish how we want businesses to report their systems. So if this is something the council feels that there's interest in and we would like to do, I'm not sure that there necessarily has to be an ordinance passed because it's already in our fire code that gives us the authority to do this. What I really want to do is keep you informed of the options that are available to us in the city that would save us time and energy. But knowing that you guys are the ones that are going to be receiving the phone calls from business owners when their bills go up, we wanted to bring this to you to gauge how you all felt about this.
How often is the $17 fee assessed?
The $17 fee is assessed only when they have a system done. So if you have somebody come in and service your sprinkler system, it's $17 for that report. Where it gets kind of tricky is that if you have a sprinkler system and a kitchen hood system, sprinkler system has its own certification report, and the hood system also has its own certification report. So now you're looking at $34 to $17 tickets for those two items.
And if they fail and have to have a reinspection?
If they fail and have to have a reinspection, I'm not sure that they get charged for the first one. It's only on the passing. I will defer to Deputy Chief Shaw. Okay, so a reinspection doesn't require that cost. So I understand that could get expensive. Where we're sending our inspector out to do an inspection. If it fails, we go back in 30 days. If it fails, we go back in 15 days. It fails, if it goes back 15 days, 15 days, 15 days, and we just keep going back. At some point, we have to decide, are my inspector's time more valuable than spending $17? If a business knows that they're going to have to keep paying that $17, they're going to get it fixed. Yes, sir.
Are you saying that business could go 7 months without a sprinkler system?
They could, sir, if it fell right. That's absolutely correct.
So we can't change that?
Sir, I would have to have an inspector, well, my fire inspector in a business every month to keep track of it, or we would have to try to align their inspections with their sprinkler system. And the problem with doing that is that if we had 100 businesses all did it in the month of June, then we would try to have to get all of those 100 businesses done, and then we may have July that had no inspections to do because if we try to do that. So it really isn't feasible to try to align their inspections with their sprinkler system. And that's one of the reasons why we want to go to this. If a company comes in the month after and they fail that sprinkler system, that's reported to Brycer. Brycer then notifies us of that failure, and then they also then send out the letter saying, hey, this needs to be repaired. You have 30 days to get it repaired. If within 30 days they don't have it repaired, we are also notified that the repair still hasn't made. We can then at that point send our inspector out to find out why it's not getting done.
Do you have any idea on the average number of systems per business?
Generally, sprinkler systems, it depends on the occupancy.
Mm-hmm.
Most restaurants are going to have at least 2, possibly a third if they have an alarm system and that kind of stuff that goes with the sprinkler system and smoke alarms. So they could have up to 3.
Wouldn't they also have a backflow preventer though?
They could, yes. Yeah.
Or could be 4.
Could be 4, yes, sir.
So we would maintain our inspections.
We would continue to go out and do our annual inspections on the business.
Okay.
All this is doing is kind of taking some of the weight off of my inspector that's trying to keep up with mostly what we have failures on are alarm panels and sprinkler systems and hood systems. Those are what generally fail that we have to keep doing our re-inspections. Deputy Chief Saw did some numbers, and we do about 650 re-inspections a year. Is that correct, Daniel? 642 inspections. About half of those are re-inspections for non-compliant hood systems or sprinkler systems. So that's 300 times that my inspector doesn't have to go do a re-inspection if Brycer is already taking care of making sure that these are done. So that's 300 more businesses that I could get to. And I'm not sure for the new council members. We inspect buildings every year. So we are in high life hazard, high risk buildings every year. Our low hazard buildings, like our car washes and some of our low hazard buildings, we go in every other year. So if a low hazard building has a sprinkler system in it, it could be 2 years before we get back in to see that sprinkler system.
What low hazard building do we have that has sprinkler system?
Any new building, a car wash could have it, where all the pump room has, where their pump rooms inside their building could have a sprinkler system in it, depending on what's held in that room.
But generally, there's not a whole lot of low.
No.
So back to your example of you going into a business, checking the sprinkler system, and then the next month that sprinkler system being out, that's not knowing about it. It could be 11 months.
Mm-hmm.
So that following month it goes out. What alerts Brycer then to go and inspect?
So Brycer doesn't actually physically go out and do any inspections. What they do is they contact all the sprinkler system companies in our area. Anybody that does alarm monitoring, sprinkler system services, hood system services, they send letters to all of those companies stating that the city of Sedalia now requires reports to Brycer. So any company coming in that does work within the city then knows that they're required to do it. So they take care of doing that. What we'll also do is we will work with them, we will onboard basically our information to them so they know where most of our systems are, so they can kind of keep track of that as well. They'll put it in their database. But generally it's basically the contractors that are going out, like Ozark, going out, and they're the ones reporting it to them. Does that make sense? Did that answer your question, or did I muddy the water again?
Maybe muddy a little bit. I guess I'm having clear.
Yeah, like the hoods have to be inspected every year. So the companies that do that are the ones that they have them on a schedule, and so they will go out and do their hood inspection.
Okay, and so this is just making sure the information gets back to us.
Back to us, and it's kept on a database that we can keep track of. It sends us alerts if somebody is non-compliant, or if they have a failure, or if somebody missed an inspection of their choosing.
Thank you.
And just to clarify, when we go out and do our inspection, we're looking for the tag that it's been inspected. We don't actually test the fire suppression system or any of those things.
That's correct. I would need about 20 more inspectors if you want us to start doing that.
Yeah, and it's a different level of expertise.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's correct.
And so you're looking for a consensus here tonight?
I'm just looking at where you want us to go from this. If this is something you want us to look through, we will. If you want to, we already have the authority through the fire code. So, but I would prefer if you guys wanted to do an ordinance saying that we want businesses to start complying and we want to do this. I'm just trying to get consensus of where you want us to go. If this is not something you want us to do, we will keep status quo and we will keep doing what we're doing. This is just making it a lot easier for my inspector, for my deputy chief, and we feel that we can increase our code compliance if we have this third party that's on top of it, because we have a lot of things going on, and making sure that sprinkler systems that expire next month, we don't go back out and do those.
It's really from a public safety
Yes, it is.
The public.
Yes, because again, systems, if we miss the system or it's in compliance when we do it, and maybe 11 months is too long. If it's half the year, you're still looking at 6 months before we come back in and basically say, hey, you need to have it fixed or we're going to pull your occupancy permit.
Are there any objections from council for moving forward with this?
I have a question on how will we alert the business owners that this is the process, this is the procedure now, and they're going to be aware of $17 per report.
So I don't necessarily know how to get that out to the other than, yes, Chief Shaw. Chief Shaw has been working very closely with Brycer, by the way.
So I will tell you that this is not we start tomorrow and everything goes into effect. So there is an onboarding process that Brycer takes on, not necessarily us. We provide them a level of information, such as our emergency reporting tracks all of our occupancies, which we have about 1,325 occupancies in the city that we inspect. So we onboard all of that into their systems. We track how many have sprinkler systems and don't as a part of our process. We're trying to input that data as we go. So they take all of that, but then they also have a list of all service providers that operate out of our area, primarily the same ones that are operating out of Kansas City, Springfield, Warrensburg, those types of things. They send out letters to those people and go, hey, we as a jurisdiction have adopted Brycer as our form and fit of how we're going to require reports submitted to us. And then there's a length of time, don't quote me on length of time, but that they put all of those notices out, and then the service providers essentially are the ones who are making the determination as to whether that $17 gets passed on or they hold it. So Brycer themselves will tell you it's about a 50-50 shot. 50% of the organizations are passing that dollar on because they want to make as much as they can. 50% of them are getting increased compliance, so they're getting additional funds because people are actually fixing the things instead of letting them go without compliance for a length of time. So some of them are going, hey, this is a benefit for us. We're seeing increased parts and service, so we're not going to pass that on. Some of them are saying, hey, you're going to charge me $17, I'm going to pass that on. So there is a long, lengthy process for this to be implemented.
So who do they bill?
So Brycer bills the service provider. So we'll say Ozark Fire Sprinkler goes in and inspects the sprinkler system. They upload that report to Brycer. Brycer charges them $17.
It's up to Ozark if they want to charge it.
Correct. So the aspect that Chief kind of touched on, and we learned this dealing with an occupancy last year, there is a majority of service providers that are already charging this.
We're just not benefiting for them.
Because they operate out of Kansas City as well, or Springfield, who has this service. So they're just using the uniformed, hey, we charge this for a hood service. Here's the fire department reporting fee.
Bill to that hood service is $17 Brycer fee.
Right.
And we don't get the.
And one of our businesses last year asked for an itemized bill and found the itemized bill. The Brycer called us, we don't, and then demanded that company refund them because we don't require that upload.
So the one other aspect that I will bring up is service providers don't want to tell on their customers. If they don't have a compliant system, they don't want to report to us if they don't have to, because then they lose customers. So essentially, one of the things that I have seen is the only people who report to me are the quality service providers who know that's the right thing to do. They will announce it. We'll go in and do our inspection, find out that they haven't been compliant, and we'll go through that process. The ones that we don't find are the ones who don't want to tell on their customers, so they don't lose that customer. And we are essentially trying to level the playing field between quality and not as quality, I think this is the word that I wanted to look for here, service providers, so that they have that level playing field. The good ones are the ones doing the service here versus the lesser quality services that are doing a lot of service in town.
I have no objection to it.
Okay. If you wanted to aid in getting the word out about it, right, we could do similar to what we did with the food trucks, to where the ordinance is drafted, we do the first reading, we let it set for a certain period of time, then come back and do the second reading.
I like that.
Like that?
Again, this is not something, we wanted to put this on your radar, so it's not anything that we're expecting to do tonight or even at the next council meeting. We want to try to move through this. Again, you guys are the ones that are going to get the complaints. We will field some of the complaints, and when they don't like our answer, they're going to come to you guys. It just without a doubt. So yeah, I think that is a great idea, is to set it up, get it done, and leave it open for a little bit to get public comment and what have you, and then move forward with that. I think that's a great idea.
How many days is everybody comfortable with doing in between?
How long did we do the?
I think we did 90, if I remember right. Or was it 60?
I don't feel like it was even that long.
Yeah, I think it was 30 days on food truck.
Oh, 30 days?
We moved through that pretty quick.
Okay.
I feel like that.
30 days. That seemed reasonable to everyone. Any objections to moving forward with this? All right, having heard none, we'll move forward.
Okay.
I have a couple of things. Brenda, do you want to weigh in on the backflow preventers?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems reasonable.
That's for commercial only.
It's for whoever. If you have a sprinkler system in your front yard, you have a backflow that's required by DNR to be serviced. Okay. And water department has to keep track of that. Okay. Anything that could cause contaminated water to go back to the company.
And there again, that's the purpose of it, is to keep everybody's water safe.
Correct.
Yeah. We're not out there trying to look for reasons to shut people down. We're looking for keeping people safe.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Firefighter Retirement Fund, couple of volunteers to go through this, but it's a little beyond my reach. Yeah, and in fairness to Councilman Robertson, we've been dealing with this for quite some time, and so to remind everybody of a little bit of background here. We started, I think it was in July, we did a presentation basically going through the history of all of this and really bringing into question the current firefighters pension plan and whether or not that's sustainable over the long term with the trends that it was going through. Council basically directed us at that point in time to push forward and do more investigation, which we did. We brought back more and more information through the strategic planning process. This was ranked by overwhelmingly as the top priority in the general fund to tackle this problem. And then also through the budgeting process, we had presented that, and it again went through the budgeting process as an additional $250,000 per year, basically to fix this problem. The plan is, as you all know, is to transfer these folks over to the logger system, and the logger system, basically how they can make this system better for our employees and the city at the same time is they invest $8 billion a year with a B. And our fund is about $8 million a year, so they get a lot better returns on their investment dollars. They, over the last 10 years, when I look back at it, they were about 3.5% per year better in their investment returns. So it gives us a lot of an opportunity to make this fund a whole lot more stable and more assured that it will be there for our firefighters going forward. We also worked with the union to be able to go out and talk individually with each one of the firefighters that would be affected by this. We put together a calculation of projections of how that would affect each and every firefighter. We went out and went through that with each one of them. Of course, you know, there were some that were ending up worse off and some that were, several that were ending up better off. One of the big issues, though, with loggers is they routinely give COLAs every year, even after retirement, whereas our current firefighting fund, with the funding status that it's in, we haven't given a COLA for quite some time. So even though they may retire at a less funding under the new system than under the old system, they would make up that difference eventually with the COLAs. The other thing is loggers rewards longevity, and it rewards people that stay longer. And so several, you know, it kind of depended on when they actually do retire. If they retired at 55, some of them would be underwater. But if they stayed just a couple more years, then the loggers would make up the difference. So we went through all of that, and then recently with the last budget adoption, one of the big things that you all approved was a 5.7% COLA. And so that made a lot of difference on how that affects each of the participants that would be under loggers, because it's based off of wages. And then also we had another 3% escalation in the current plan. So we went back and did the recalculation and calculated how that would affect now updated those calculations for each individual employee. We came back to you in the last council meeting, and I reported it was about $25,000 that was the gap for 6 individuals total. It was total of $25,000 spread over 6 individuals that where they would end up worse off under the current plan if they all retired at 55. And so I made the recommendation at that time to bonus that amount out and make them whole, so to speak, as well as another big issue of going to loggers is the current plan allows a drop. It's a deferred retirement option where essentially when they turn 55, they can enter into an agreement to where they can, for the purposes of the retirement, retire, but then still work for us, and that retirement pension would go into a fund set aside for them, and then within the 5 years, they have to actually retire and leave service, and then at that time, they get a lump sum distribution. To emulate that, we worked with loggers, and what loggers said we could do is we could allow in-service distribution under the legacy plan. So in effect, when they turn 55, they can continue to work for us, earn credits under loggers, and while they're still already drawing the retirement plan from the existing plan. So we made those recommendations, and council was in agreement to go forward with that. I went out and met with each of the employees that were affected, those 6 individuals that we were going to bonus out, and then also met with each of the groups just to give them an update. When I was meeting with one of the individuals that was affected by this, he pointed out that basically my formula didn't take into account rounding, and so I was looking at the year of him retiring when he turned 55.9 as opposed to when he was actually retiring. So it made almost a year's worth of difference. So when I looked at that, and it's fair enough observation, and I apologize for not catching that before, but when I update that for him as well as some other folks that fall into that same category, the number goes up to $43,000, and it's spread over 8 individuals instead of 6, 43,953, I'm sorry. So my recommendation is to bonus out that 43,953. That makes everybody whole, even if they retire at 55. If they stay beyond 55, then they're more than whole. So I recommend that, as well as going to the L11 program under loggers and allowing the in-service deductions. So, and that's what's included in the ordinance for your consideration tonight. I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
Any further discussion? Clear as mud?
Yeah. Yeah, I put them all to sleep.
That's why he did it.
Yeah.
All right, call for the ordinance.
Bill number 2022-66, an ordinance ceasing future accruals in the firefighters' retirement fund and accepting eligible firefighters into the Missouri Local Government Employees Retirement System, loggers.
Second reading.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?
Bill number 2022-66, an ordinance ceasing future accruals in the firefighters' retirement fund and accepting eligible firefighters into the Missouri Local Government Employees Retirement System, loggers.
Final passage.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yep.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
And Marshall.
Yes.
All in favor.
First rescue tools and equipment, a bid from extracting equipment. Sedalia Fire Department bid $41,166. Chief, would you like to say anything about this?
The equipment we got, 41,166, includes all the equipment that we put out for the RFP. The 41,166, although it was not the lowest bidder as compared to the 2 bids that we received, the low bidder failed to almost $7,000 worth of equipment that they did put into the bid.
My terminology, this is the lowest responsive bidder.
That is correct, sir. That is correct.
Any further council discussion?
And we're still under budget.
Yes.
Because we budgeted for 50.
Correct. Call for the ordinance.
Bill number 2022-67, An ordinance approving and accepting a quote from Alex Air Apparatus Incorporated for the purchase of Hearst tools and equipment for the fire department.
Second reading.
All in favor? All opposed?
Bill number 2022-67, an ordinance approving and accepting a quote from Alex Air Apparatus Incorporated for the purchase of Hearst tools and equipment for the fire department.
Final passage. Second.
Roll call, please.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
And Bogus?
Yes.
All in favor?
Okay, stabilization struts and equipment, which is for stabilizing the vehicle while people being extracted from it. Same, Alex Air Apparatus being the lowest best bid at $15,107 a quarter. Anyone, I think that's sort of self-explanatory.
And this one is a little bit over budget, but when you add the two together, and that's the way it was budgeted, really, was $65,000 for the total. We're still significantly under in total for this initiative, if you will.
Any further discussion? Call for the ordinance.
Bill number 2022-68, an ordinance approving and accepting a quote from Alex Air Apparatus Incorporated for the purchase of stabilization struts and equipment for the fire department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Bill number 2022-68, an ordinance approving and accepting a quote from Alex Air Apparatus Incorporated for the purchase of stabilization struts and equipment for the fire department.
Final. Second.
Roll call, please.
Cross? Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
All in favor?
Thank you, Chairman Robinson. Up next, we have Public Works. Chairman Oldham, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. We have 6 items tonight under Public Works. The first 2 items are ordinance to approve some annexation. In the previous council session, we had a public hearing regarding these 2 pieces of property. There were no comments from any citizens. So tonight, in continuing with procedure, we need to pass the 2 ordinance so we are able to annex in these 2 pieces of property. The first property is a city-owned property on South New York Avenue, and the second property is 2845 South New York Avenue.
All right. Any discussion on the first ordinance, which would be the South New York Avenue property? Hearing none, call for the ordinance.
Bill number 2022-69, an ordinance approving the annexation of property located on South New York Avenue into the city of Sedalia, Missouri.
Second reading.
All in favor? All opposed?
Bill number 2022-69, an ordinance approving the annexation of property located on South New York Avenue into the city of Sedalia, Missouri.
Final passage.
Second.
Roll call?
Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
All in favor?
Any further discussion regarding the ordinance relative to the property at 2845 South New York Avenue? Hearing none, call for the ordinance.
Bill number 2022-70, an ordinance approving the annexation of property located at 2845 South New York Avenue into the city of Sedalia, Missouri.
Second reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Bill number 2022-70, an ordinance approving the annexation of property located at 2845 South New York Avenue into the city of Sedalia, Missouri.
Final passage.
Second.
Roll call?
I'm sorry, who seconded that? Thank you. I gotta get used to your voice. Okay, Bliss,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Oldham,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Bogus,
Yes.
Richardson,
Yes.
Cross, and Foster.
Yes.
All in favor?
The third item I have tonight is with the construction of the new Katy Trail Health Center, there's going to be increase of pedestrian traffic. So we see it fit to purchase a solar LED flashing warning system to aid in that pedestrian traffic. This will be on the corner of Main and Kentucky.
Any further council discussion?
That's a flashing light like they do at the schools,
Yes, it is.
and it'd be on both sides of the road, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be a little different than what you see at the schools, but, yeah.
And it's solar.
Yes, right. There'll be two signs, it'll be solar and flashing, and if I recall correctly in our meeting, it's going to be, the crosswalk itself is going to be painted a little different. You called it what was the terminology you used it? A ladder crosswalk.
Thank you.
All right, call for the ordinance.
Bill number 2022-71, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of a solar LED flashing warning sign system to be used for crosswalks at the intersection of Main Street and Kentucky Avenue.
Second reading.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Bill number 2022-71, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of a solar LED flashing warning sign system to be used for crosswalks at the intersection of Main Street and Kentucky Avenue.
Final passage.
Second. Roll call, please.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yes.
All in favor?
Item number 4, continuing on with the contract we have with S&A Equipment and Builders. They are doing the sidewalk rehabilitation on the sidewalk between Kentucky and Osage. We need to add a change order number 2 to this. This is for an infill of an underground storage area. We had to fill this hole basically for the integrity of the sidewalk as well as the integrity of the building. And this is a change order for $9,176.99.
I'm just wondering, what size of hole was that? That seems awful high just to fill a hole of $9,000.
About 15 feet, wasn't it?
It was like a room,
Long and
quite
deep.
significant.
There was more than a hole because there was no sidewall to the building. So when it was opened, all you saw were 2 piers and an open vault. So it's basically the length of the building, 15 feet deep and about 8 feet wide. So we had to put steel plate between the sidewalk area and the building because the building was destabilizing. So there's a little more than just filling the hole.
It's a small hole, that's what I'm saying.
No, and it was, as the contractor put it, he goes, it was a surprise, Brenda, because their mini X was sitting on top of an area that had no support under it.
Yeah.
So they were quick to remove their equipment when they found the hole. Okay.
I think there might be a picture of the hole in the packet.
In your packet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have lost a skid steer.
Could have lost the Yeah. Quite a hole. All right, any further discussion? Call for the ordinance.
Bill number 2022-72, an ordinance authorizing change order number 2 for additional labor and materials for the infill of an underground storage area located between Kentucky Avenue and Osage Avenue on Main Street.
Second reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Bill number 2022-72, an ordinance authorizing change order number 2 for additional labor and materials for the infill of an underground storage area located between Kentucky Avenue and Osage Avenue on Main Street.
Final passage.
Second. Roll call?
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yes.
And Robinson.
Yes.
All in favor?
Fifth item tonight, in our budget work session, we appropriated funds for a street sweeper. So tonight, we need to approve and accept a quote from Red Equipment LLC for a vacuum street sweeper. This will be a total of $245,000. So we budgeted
245.
245.
the budget was based off of, you know, I mean, it's unusual that it's exact, but the budget was based off of the cooperative purchasing contract, so we kind of knew what the price was going to be before.
What happens to the old?
Are we trading it in, or it's got a blown motor, so it's.
We checked into repairing the unit. The unit is over 20 years old, and by the time we repaired everything, it was more than half the cost of the replacement unit.
Any further discussion? Call for the ordinance.
Bill number 2022-73, an ordinance approving and accepting a quote from Red Equipment LLC for the purchase of a vacuum street sweeper for the street department.
Second reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Bill number 2022-73, an ordinance approving and accepting a quote from Red Equipment LLC for the purchase of a vacuum street sweeper for the street department.
Final passage.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
And that's all in favor.
And finally, we have Big Money Bicycle on the Katy happening this Tuesday, May 17th. This is an annual event that we have had, and so, but according to our code, you're not allowed to stay past midnight or stay overnight in our parks. So with this event, we need to call for an ordinance allowing for the overnight camping at Katy Park.
Any council discussion? Hearing none, call for the ordinance.
Bill number 2022-74, an ordinance allowing overnight camping/parking in Katy Park for the Big Muddy Bicycle on the Katy event on Tuesday, May 17, 2022.
Second reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Bill number 2022-74, an ordinance following overnight camping/parking, overnight camping and parking in Katy Park for the Big Muddy Bicycle on the Katy event on Tuesday, May 17, 2022.
Final passage.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
And Marshall?
Yes.
All in favor.
That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Oldham. Let's see, Chairwoman Foster?
Got nothing.
Nothing? Get out of it easy tonight, huh?
Yes. But you know we're going to make up for it.
Yep, I know. You as well.
At least you're not spending money like Oldham.
I know. I'm a good one.
That's true. Okay, we have a few appointments.
To members of the City Council from Mayor Andrew Dawson, new appointments, Board of Appeals, Chuck Leftwich, completing Chris Marshall's term expiring June 2022. Lee Scribner, alternate member, completing Chuck Leftwich term expiring June 2024. Central Business and Cultural District Board of Directors, Michelle Bassett, term expiring January 2024. Planning and Zoning, John Cady, completing Chris Marshall's term expiring June 2022. Zoning Board of Adjustments, Chuck Leftwich, completing Chris Marshall's term expiring June 2024.
Motion to approve in block.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Up next, so we got something a little different. So this is going back through and reviewing the Code of Ordinance. The member that serves on Planning and Zoning is actually selected, of council, that serves on Planning and Zoning is actually selected by council. So what we're going to do is similar to the way we do Mayor Pro Tem. I'm going to call for nominations, and then we will vote on it. Hear any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Chris Marshall. He has recently already been on the board of Planning and Zoning. He's represented himself and the community well, and I think for him to continue, he'd be able to represent council well.
Okay. Do I hear any other nominations?
Do we need a second?
Need a second.
I'll second.
You can second, yeah. We got a second?
I'll second it.
All right, hearing none, I will close the nominations. And, I think if it's unopposed, we just need a voice vote, right?
You
No
just
secret
have to
ballot.
don't do the voice roll call, do they? There's no, just declare him.
Yeah. Okay, all in favor of appointing Chris Marshall to the Sedalia?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, thank you. Let's see, next item we have is miscellaneous items from the mayor and city council and city administrator.
Liquor license.
Oh, liquor license, sorry, got off track.
We just have one renewal license, Jeremy Klein, doing business as the Corner Lounge, 1604 South Ohio Avenue, for liquor by the drink and Sunday sales license.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. All right, now we've got miscellaneous items from the mayor and city council and city administrator. I don't know what we got going on this weekend. We have the mayor's prayer breakfast. There's also an event where we'll be welcoming visitors into Sedalia down at the Amtrak Depot. I know that we got that going on. Does anybody have anything else?
I don't know if this is the time or not, to bring it to the council, and you can tell me no or yeah. I'm requesting that the city of Sedalia place a monument marker where the George R. Smith College for Blacks was at on East Saline. If possible, I'd like to have that monument placed by June 18th, which is a Saturday, which is the Juneteenth celebration for here in Sedalia.
Well, we could, what do you guys think about putting that on the agenda for the next meeting to discuss? Everybody in favor of that? Any objections to that? No. Okay, we will do that. Anyone else? Is there anyone from the audience that would like to address council? So I'd ask that you go ahead and step to the microphone and then state your name, your address, and then you've got 3 minutes.
I won't need 3 minutes. My name's Renee Vance. I've seen most of you. I'm a board member at the Senior Center. And since we've opened at our new location, we have served almost, well, in 1 month, almost, what?
Yeah, there you go.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yeah.
Anyway, I've seen most of you because you do eat at the Senior Center when you have your Optimus Club or Lions, and we thoroughly do appreciate the support of the community and the council. We're in dire need of some drivers because we've got over 225 seniors we're delivering meals to. It's volunteer, as a lot of things, you know, gas is higher. We're just needing some fresh blood. If this is just a very informal, anybody, please. And I do have one question regarding the Mercy House. I've kind of lost track of that. And we have got some funds that we have got as a group on hold and just wanting to know what we're going to do with it. And that's all I have.
Mm-hmm. Well, we will be having a public work session come Wednesday night to discuss some things, or some zoning issues surrounding that. So you're more than welcome to attend. That's at 6:30. 6:30. 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
Change it? Yeah. Yeah. It's 6:30. 6:30. 6:30. Thank you. Yeah. Let's see. Do I have a motion and a second to go into closed session?
Motion, close door session.
Was there anybody else that needed to speak? No. Okay.
No.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
And Bliss?
Yes. No?
Great.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, you're just basically calling it back to order.
Okay.
And call for roll call.
Everybody here?
Okay.
Okay.
I assume he knew to come back. Did he know to come back? I assume he did.
Once you close that, you're technically back.
Because I told him we'll have to finish downstairs.
Do you think he left?
Yeah, so he may be there.
You guys keep on.
He did.
I just got a wet spot.
I do that.
Sorry, I did start the recording.
You get me in trouble. Not today, Stacy, not today.
So I feel like we're down to.
Thank you.
He's coming. Oh, he's coming. All right, all right. He's coming. We are recording those.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, we ready to go? All right, we'll call this meeting back to order. Let's see, we have several ordinances regarding property.
Okay, we have 4 that we'll need to pass on or vote on. Bill number 2022-75, an ordinance approving a special warranty deed for the sale of property commonly known as 3100 South New York Avenue and an unaddressed parcel located adjacent to the south border of 3100 South New York Avenue from the city of Sedalia, Missouri to Michael L. Fisher and Katie E. Fisher.
Second reading.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?
Bill number 2022-75, an ordinance approving a special warranty deed for the sale of property commonly known as 3100 South New York Avenue and an unaddressed parcel located adjacent to the south border of 3100 South New York Avenue from the city of Sedalia, Missouri to Michael L. Fisher and Katie E. Fisher.
Final passage.
Second.
Roll call?
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
All in favor.
All right, now we have the second ordinance.
Bill number 2022-76, an ordinance approving a special warranty deed for the sale of property commonly known as 2500 East 7th Street from the city of Sedalia, Missouri to Danny C. Hickman and Cherie and Adair.
Second reading.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?
Bill number 2022-76, an ordinance approving a special warranty deed for the sale of property commonly known as 2500 East 7th Street from the city of Sedalia, Missouri to Danny C. Hickman and Cherie Ann Adair.
Final passage.
Roll call, please.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster? Bliss?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
All in favor.
Call for the next ordinance.
Bill number 2022-77, an ordinance approving the acceptance of a quitclaim deed from Melissa Smith for property located at 175 Summer Avenue in the city of Sedalia, Missouri.
Second reading.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Bill number 2022-77, an ordinance approving the acceptance of a quitclaim deed from Melissa Smith, property located at 175 Summer Avenue in the city of Sedalia, Missouri.
Final passage.
Roll call, please.
Foster? Bliss?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
All in favor.
Call for a final ordinance.
Bill number 2022-78, an ordinance approving the acceptance of a quitclaim deed from Melissa Smith, Kara L. Van Dorn, and Travis Van Dorn, and Thomas K. Smith for property located at 171 Summer Avenue in the city of Sedalia, Missouri.
Second reading.
Second.
Oh, all in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
All opposed?
Bill number 2022, Bill number 2022-78, an ordinance approving the acceptance of a quitclaim deed from Melissa Smith, Kara L. Van Dorn, and Travis Van Dorn, and Thomas K. Smith for property located at 171 Summer Avenue in the city of Sedalia, Missouri.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Bliss,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Oldham,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Bogus,
Yes.
Richardson,
Yes.
Cross,
Yes.
Foster,
Yes.
all in favor.
Do I have a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn?
Second. All right.
Okay. Thank you all.
I have. Oh, good.